So, Jake, the pre-season's now over and the exciting time starts. The matches that really matter. Potter's Bar on Saturday. You must be relieved that we finally got to this stage.
Yeah, it's obviously been a very good, difficult build. Total rebuild, really. So it's been a difficult time, and a lot seems a long time, but finally happy to get to this stage and ready to go Potter's Bar away.
Now, obviously, Folkestone on Tuesday. I mean, that's an incredible game to get started at Crabble, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously it took me by a bit of surprise, really, because we all assumed that the Folkestone games would be over the Christmas period. But for whatever reason, that hasn't been. I don't really know the whys, but obviously the league must have a reason for that. But I suppose the second best thing was to have them first game of the season, a really good local derby. I don't think there's obviously been a league game between the two clubs for a number of years. So really, really exciting start to our home campaign against Folkestone, who obviously are going to be very strong this year with the resources they've got.
Yeah, you just mentioned there, it's a shame that that game isn't on a Boxing Day or Easter or New Year, because actually it really does give clubs like Folkestone and Dover bumper crowds, and of course clubs at this level could do with every penny they could get.
Yeah, like I say, I don't know the ins and outs, and it's not just us. I see that the other derbies in the league haven't gone ahead over Christmas as well. So maybe there is a valid reason, but commercially, monetary wise, obviously disappointing for both clubs. But like I say, I think if that wasn't to be, the best time to get them would be at home for the first game of the season. So yeah, I mean they've made that decision. We're happy with it. I'm happy to have them for the first game, and really looking forward to that one. But obviously, we've got Potter's Bar to deal with first.
And obviously it's great, isn't it, that all the hospitality has sold out for this one as well.
Yeah, I mean, the previous interviews I done, I made it very clear, with me coming back here, it was a big decision in my life because obviously, how much time it takes up and everything else. And when I spoke to the chairman after he decided to offer me the job, that I really wanted to get involved with not only the football side to rebuild this club back up, community and everything else. So I've been doing my bits. Hopefully moving forward, I can do a little bit more on that side. But yeah, absolutely delighted to see that packed out for the first game. It's obviously helped massively. It's focused on because there's a lot of local interest. But yeah, really, really pleasing on that side of the thing. And I think we've had some more good news today on the commercial side with some sponsorship. So yeah, things are slowly but surely going in the right way. Now it's sort of down to us and the team really to deliver on the pitch and hopefully get some results to create that feel good factor.
Because as you say, the message was that this has got to be a community effort going forward, and it must be really great to have such a positive response. Because if you go on Facebook, you're on the social media channels, there's so much positivity out there, which is great because it has been negative the last 4 or 5 years, hasn't it?
I said to the lads, when I signed them, I don't know, if they played down here the last couple of years or they've been here before, but this is a big club especially in this league, and if we can get it right, it's going to be a really good place for them to come and play their football. It really is. We know Justin better than most the atmosphere that this place can produce if you can get it right on the pitch. So really, really looking forward to the season and really, really hope we can get off to a good start, which obviously is only going to help in every aspect.
How do you reflect on pre-season? I mean, 7 matches in total, wasn't it? 5 wins, a draw, and the one defeat. What's your sort of view of how it went and what you learned?
Um, Pre-season is always really difficult to judge. Obviously, we've played sides generally in the level below us, and not only that, with the Ramsgate and Lancing games, clubs that are struggling themselves with change of management and all that. So I don't really think it's been a true yardstick of where we're at. But in saying that, been really, really pleased with the group. They're a new group, but they've come together very quickly. And obviously, we recruited a type of boy, for them reasons really to try and create that team ethic, that atmosphere and environment where lots and lots of the boys, football is their first and main focus. They spend a lot of the time in the day training, to get to where they want to get to, and that's where I wanted to go. And so they come down. They've all come down with a real professional attitude and really determined to have a good season themselves. And obviously, hopefully that will help us as a team to have a decent season as a team as well.
And of course, you played teams from different levels as well, didn't you? There was a good little mixture there, wasn't there? Teams in higher divisions, teams in lower divisions. It was a nice mix.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, it was a little bit disjointed with holidays. To be fair, it was only the staff, myself included, that have missed the game through holidays. So again, that tells you how focused the boys are. You look around and I see a lot of boys are on holiday at other clubs in pre-season. Not one of our boys has missed. Well, actually, that's a little bit of a fib. One of the younger boys missed the game, but other than that, the core, the nucleus of the team haven't missed one training session or one pre-season game for a holiday. So yeah, they are, really, really focused to do well. And obviously pre-season's a massive part of it, isn't it? Sharpness, fitness and togetherness along with the organisation and everything else. So yeah, really, really pleasing.
Now, this club's not been at this level for about 15 years. I think it's 15 years now. So do we go into it a little bit in the dark in terms of not knowing the true level of it? I mean, obviously we've got a rough idea, but is it not until you get into the swing of games that you start to find out, what the division's all about?
Yeah, definitely, and I publicly said that. Yeah, we are going into it a little bit of the unknown. Obviously, levels have changed over the years as well. I mean, it took me by surprise a little bit. The National South want to come back, and I know the type of players and the monies that are involved at this level now. So, yeah, it is going to be the unknown. Once we've played probably half a dozen games, we'll probably know a little bit more where we're at and where we're short, and how we can improve. But I really like to think with what we've got, even if we don't start great, which I'm anticipating we will start well, that we're just going to get stronger and stronger as we go.
I mean, in terms of that, as I say, if you do find yourself a little bit short, I mean, that did happen, didn't it, when the club got promoted to the National League when you were with Chris, a little bit short and brought a few players in. We know that money's tight, but is there any leeway to adjust things if need be?
And I will be as loyal as I can to the group we've brought in. We haven't just signed anyone. We've been quite due diligent in who we've brought in, and we believe all of them are up to the level. And sometimes sometimes you hit the ground running as an individual player, and sometimes it takes a little bit more time. So, I've made it very clear to the players that I am a guy that will be as loyal as I possibly can, as long as they're showing the right sign regarding the work rate attitude and togetherness and playing for the team. I don't really want to think about if we don't start well, but I'm sure, knowing the chairman as I do, he'll be looking to get a good start. And for whatever reason, if that doesn't happen, we'll have to address it. But I honestly don't think or feel that we're going to be in that position. I just hope hope I'm right.
Now, I do love it when we're the underdogs, and I see the bookies have completely written us off. I was having a look in the betting odds last night, and one bookmaker has got us at 20-1 to win the title. Do you like that? Do you like the fact that we've been written off?
Well, I don't think anyone will know where we are as a club. With what's gone on the last 3 or 4 years, I don't think any of us, all the experience, that I've got, and I'm sitting here now, at the club, really hoping that we're better odds than that. But realistically, it's no one really knows where we're at. I mean, I certainly wouldn't say we're anywhere near the favourites with a brand new squad with the type of boy that we've got. But football's an amazing thing, isn't it? Momentum and everything else. So I don't know. I don't know where I'd put us if I was the bookies, but I'm quietly confident we're going to have a good season. But the proof will be in the pudding, I suppose, in six games' time.
I mean, one of the areas we have struggled in recent years is goal scoring. I mean, I was looking at our top scorers, and we haven't had anyone who scored 20 since Ryan Bird did it in 2018. Is that one area that you're hoping will improve this season? I mean, we seem to be looking good for goals in the pre-season friendlies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think we've got that one person like we've had here previously. Chris Kinnear always seemed to get that one guy, didn't he? That throughout the years, and obviously Hesad Birch, very, very hard to come by. I did target a few of them boys who I thought could be that man, but unfortunately, they chose to go elsewhere for obvious reasons. But the lads we have recruited, whether they'll be able to get themselves 20, I don't know. I'm not so sure.
Mm.
But what has been really promising in pre-season that we've half created a hell of a lot of chances. Again, like I say, against teams in lower opposition, lower opposition. Obviously, I wasn't here for the Welling game, so difficult to comment on how many chances we created in that game. But I think we are a team that will create chances, and if one of the boys, or a couple of the boys can score early on the season, goal scoring is a lot of it. It's confidence, isn't it? They're definitely, majority of them have got the ability to score goals. Obviously, I see it in training. So yeah, I mean, I'd much rather spread the goals around the team, which we have done in pre-season, rather than relying on one person. Because obviously, if that guy was to get injured or suspended, then it's difficult to replace. So to answer your question, I'm not too sure whether any of the boys will get 20 goals individually, but I'd like to think we're going to score goals as a
Mm.
team.
Yeah, I mean, successful teams do usually share the goals around. I remember covering Burnley a lot a couple of seasons ago when Vincent Company got them promoted, and nearly everyone was scoring goals for them. They were spread. There wasn't like an out and out goal scorer.
Interesting enough, I only thought about that the other night. I was thinking about the amount of goals we conceded, because obviously that's forefront of my mind, because I think we will score goals. Um, Obviously the teams that I've been around recently, under how we do it, don't concede many. We've definitely conceded more, and we've conceded quite a few sloppy goals, which is a concern. We haven't kept a clean sheet all pre-season, which is a concern. But getting back to goals scored, I think we've already had 11 or 12 different lads who have scored goals in pre-season. So yeah, that's really, really encouraging.
Of course, off the field, fans can do their bit and help out, obviously by coming to the matches. But there's other things, isn't there, like the 200 Club, player sponsorship. Just to tell us a little bit about those things.
Like I said from the start, it's really, really important that I've been very fortunate enough to be at a couple of clubs that, the two clubs I've been successful at, it really, really stood out that the whole club, town, community were together as one. So much positivity. So many guys, local businesses, wanting to help out in any which way. It doesn't matter how small. It really does help. So again, we can't do this without everyone on board. We've got a great group of staff, office staff, volunteers, and we just need the crowds to come back through the door. And commercially, we need to be stronger. Obviously, Vicky's doing a fantastic job in the community. So yeah, but we're not naive. I'm not naive enough to know that if you can get results on the pitch, that's the first and foremost and most important thing. Once, if and when we can do that, I think the rest will follow. But I really, really want, maybe the fans that have been away for a couple of years, and I understand that. I do understand that. People like to win. Of course, they like to win, and it's, it can be a bit soul destroying, sort of, almost sort of knowing the result before you even walk up. So I do sort of ask them, people that, you think back to the Crystal Palace game, we were here, they were queuing down to River Wreck, weren't they?
Yeah,
So, I call upon them people, if they could at least give us a chance. I think, I'd like to think that we can, at least put a show on and prove that we've got a team of boys that at least want to do well. They're a talented bunch as well. And I do feel that with encouragement and everyone getting behind them, we're just going to get stronger and stronger as the season goes on.
and from a personal point of view, Jake, what's it like to be back in football again? You've been out of the game for a little while, you're back, and obviously at a club that you love.
Yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. And, I never doubted my decision. I knew what I was walking into last year. But this season feels very, very different. Yeah, still obviously a lot to work on and off the pitch. Yeah, but I know I'm absolutely delighted to play my part and do my bit. Like you, Justin. This is our club. I'm desperate to do well, not only for myself but for everyone else involved.